Hello, how we doing? Welcome to the Always Better Than Yesterday interview sessions with me, Ryan Hartley. So, welcome everybody. Hope that we are all doing well. Happy Sunday if you're watching this Facebook Live. And yeah, thank you for catching up on replay. Thank you for taking the time to catch up with the podcast. Really, really appreciate you taking the time out to join us. If this is the first time that you've ever checked out an Always Better Than Yesterday interview session, drop me a red love heart emoji. Let me just jump into the conversation. Let me just appreciate you for checking out the interviews. Hope that I'm coming through loud and clear. Give me some feedback if I'm not. And then I shall do a quick introduction after I've sent out a few invites. Hope that we've had a great weekend. Hope that we're doing well. Please do... share the video if you think this is adding you value. Please do subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. I'd love to know your views and your feedback. Most importantly, I want to make sure that this is time well spent and it adds value to your day, your weekend, or however you're choosing to listen to this. We've got lots of listeners at the moment on the podcast, on the replay. So yeah, I hope it's adding some value to your day and giving you some inspiration to be always better than yesterday. So there we go, a few invites sent out, lots of people on already. Really, really great to see you. Let me just make sure that my guest is on. She is fantastic. So here we go, episode 37 of the Always Better Than Yesterday interview sessions. Now these are all about understanding the mindset and the habits of successful and inspiring people. It's that simple. I say it every week, I'm a curious little monkey. And I love to know what motivates people, what drives people, what inspires people, and some of the ways in which they are always better than yesterday. So tonight is my great privilege to bring on my 37th guest. I am loving this journey that we're all on together. So many of you keep coming back and listening and watching, and I hope that it's adding you value. That's why I do it. I don't want to keep all this great information to myself. I want to share it with as many people as I possibly can, so that actually, do you know what? It's amazing. Nothing is more amazing than bumping into someone that I've not seen in a long time and they say, I watched episode so-and-so, wasn't that inspiring, and I did this as a result. And sometimes if you hadn't bumped into them that day, I'd never know, and if something inspires you from these videos, I would love to know. I'd love to know the difference it's making to you, to the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling, the way that you're acting, because I believe it all starts with the mindset. I think it all starts with the mindset. The way that people think will inform the way people act, which will inform the results that people get. So it all starts with the mindset. So hopefully I shall be able to share another inspiring person with you tonight. And I first came across this lady that I'll be joining with me tonight on a different community. You've probably heard me talk about the Hunger Start Accelerators before, led by Lewis Raymond Taylor, and I was part of his community about this time last year. And in that community, he brought this speaker in called Angela, and Angela delivered an amazingly inspiring but intriguing talk. It was something completely different from what I'd ever experienced, and I've been following Angela since, and I love her content, I love what she puts out, and I'm just curious to get to know Angela better, and why not share that with you in the process. So I'm going to bring her on now. And loud and clear, hope that I'm coming through well. Hello.
Hello and good evening, Ryan.
How are you? We might need those headphones.
Yeah. How is it now?
That's wonderful. Facebook, for some reason, gives lots of feedback, and I don't like to hear my voice. It's bad enough that everyone else has to listen to it.
So I just see me looking like towards this side, so I have to look here. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's because when I look into my eyes, I'm looking up, so I have to look towards you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I went to the mountains this afternoon. Wow. It was so beautiful, still snow here in Switzerland. Wow. And yesterday I was at the Swiss Moto at a motorbike cycle. Hi, Paul. Oh, nice to see. Hi, Rada. Oh, so good to see you. And I'm actually looking for my ideal motorbike because my partner is already having his motorbike. And now we're looking for one that is ideal for me to get started.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So could you do me the honor and the privilege of introducing your good self to the listeners and the watchers, and just tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes. Hello, René. I would like to welcome a few of these people here.
Yeah,
Hi,
please.
Rainer. So good to see you. Beautiful men here also, men and women. So my name is Angela Ramel. I was born in Zurich and grew up in Zurich, and I've traveled the world by like 25. I've already seen most of the continents of the world. And I grew up in a family where we used to have used to live a very healthy life with healthy nutrition. And my parents, they were always in esoteric scenes and meditation circles and yoga circles. So I grew up in a very healthy environment where we would talk about anything after dinner, also any taboo issues. And that's actually what is one of my, that's what I realized then during my, when I grew up and into my adult life, that actually these taboos that we were discussing after a dinner were actually all taboo issues. So I went to an art school in Zurich. I had my teacher training here. I got married to a monk, and we traveled to India and lived there for some time. I was teaching a lot of yoga and meditation, and was running private schools. I did a lot of work out in the poor villages in India, building toilets, building water fountains, drinking water fountains. Hi, Eileen. Hi. And then I came back to Switzerland, had my own 3 kids here in Switzerland, and got married again to another monk. So I was very attracted to the monks who were living a spiritual life, they were studying the Vedic lifestyle.
Yeah.
Actually, I could introduce them to sexual life. I could initiate them into sexual life. So that's what I realized only later on, what this was all about. And then I went back with my 3 small kids back to India. I was running a yoga retreat center there, and in the middle of the rice fields and the Ganges River, in a huge ashram, in a spiritual community, where I actually realized and observed all the time how sexual energy was suppressed. And I didn't like that the first chakra was so suppressed. And actually all these spiritualists and gurus that I knew would actually live their sexuality or their spirituality in their handstand. So that's how I call it. Yeah, it's like by manipulating people with their spiritual like daily life, chanting mantras and all, and suppressing their own sexuality was like, it was very strange for me, because somehow their philosophy was always this opening up the heart, opening up the mind, opening up the chakra to build up the love for God and love for a higher source. But what about love to yourself and love to your next ones? That's what that was missing for me. So 10 years ago, hi Carmelo, hi Jackie, hi Tula, so good to see you here. 10 years ago, I was coming back to Switzerland from Bali, because during the rainy season we couldn't be in India because the Ganges flooded the whole area. So we went during the rainy season to Bali. And 10 years ago, I came back to Switzerland with 3 kids, $3 to my name, and 3 suitcases.
Wow.
And that's my story, because within the last 10 years, I went through some heavy stuff from deep burnout, depression, suicidal, and taking care of my 3 kids, because the father of the kids, he left the family, he went back to monk life. Hi Sandra, hi Carmen. And that was quite a struggle, because in Switzerland we have a high paying life, and yeah, for 4 persons, the minimum amount of money is about $6,000 to $10,000 you need to just pay your bills. And yeah, I went through these struggles, through this burnout, and I started, like, what I realized in my depression years was that I had to accept help. So I started accepting help, because before in my life, I was coping with everything on my own. And so I started accepting help from therapists, coaches, mentors, and amazing people that I met. And I
Where does
built.
that start? How do you, I mean, I'm rubbish at asking for help. It's one of my downfalls. It's one of my weaknesses, is asking for help. How did you develop that? How did you allow that to happen?
At one point, after lying in my bed for 2.5 years in a dark room, I decided that I wanted to stop this. And because I realized that I have a purpose, I'm here for a purpose in this life. I'm here because I want to serve people, and I have a very clear mission to go on this planet. And I also knew since long time, actually since 30 years ago, I'm coaching women. And I knew the women also, where I came back here in this village I live right now, they need me. The women in Switzerland need me. The women in this world need me. And the first step when I had to accept help was when I was here with $3, and I had to accept money from the state. I had to accept help from my parents, because I couldn't even prepare breakfast for my kids. I was so weak. So I was forced to accept help, and I realized, okay, it's about surrender. It's about letting go of some kind of ego stuff. It's some kind of I would say it was a kind of ego thing, and it had to do with letting go and surrender to my own growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe that that your message or your slogan is all about it's every next day is about growth. Yeah. It's like we're never, the next day we're never the same as we were the day before. And I don't like that when people when I see people after some time, even after a week, and they project into me that I'm still the same person like they once they met me before. So it was about surrender and letting go of this fucking victim being and slave girl and this identification of victim and slave girl. Yeah.
So after you've surrendered, how did you continue to build yourself? What sort of mindset things? The way you come across on your social media, you're very strong, independent, authentic, real clear sense of who you are and show up and you serve. How did you get from surrendering to where you are? Talk us through that, and some of the things that have really helped you over the last, say, 10 years. Is it?
I surrendered to the messages of my body.
Yeah.
So when the body tells you or the body shows you this kind of weakness that I have experienced, you have to surrender to these messages of the body. You can't go on in the mind. So you have to get out of the mind into the body, and that's the mindset. It's like to get out of the head out of the mind into the body, and really listen to the body. Observe your senses and go back into this sensual enjoyment, and also into the sensual embodiment. And that's what I love, and what I love to teach the women and the couples and men on this planet, to surrender to the messages of your body and senses, and reconnect with this sensual, with the sensuality, and then also with the sexuality. Hi Tatiana, hi Andrea. Yes.
So talk us through some of the are there tools and techniques? Are there things that you talk about the senses? I guess meditation is a form of what you talk about. What other things have you embodied over the last in your journey that's helped you?
So one of my favorite tools is of course the yoga that was in my life always, already as a child. So it's I developed a sensual yoga practice, a very therapeutic sensual yoga practice that I share with my clients. I practice my yoga every day since more than 30 years. And that's what also kept me alive. I would crawl on my floor out of bed to the toilet, do my yoga practice, my meditation practice, prepare a smoothie, and go back to bed during my depression times. So these daily rituals, that's what I love to integrate into my life, and that's what I love to teach my clients. And nowadays I have realized that we need micro meditations, that we need short yoga sessions, micro meditations, tools that we can implement into our daily lives of maybe 1 to 5 minutes maximum, because our days are, like the pace is fast. The pace gets faster and faster every day. And people love it. My clients love it. They can sit on their bed in the morning, do their yes meditation, set an intention for the day. During the day, if they need some confidence, they can set an anchor somewhere in their body, in a meeting or something, for confidence or trust or whatever. When they come home, they can do some restorative poses for maybe 3 to 7 minutes. And then also I'm specialized into plant-based nutrition. That's also one of the tools I integrate. Then, of course, the hypnosis, the whole reprogramming of the old belief systems, the subconscious mind, and then the whole sexual healing through the whole yoni healing and the chakra work. I'm a Reiki master, and like whatever I have experienced and learned in my own body and heart and yoni and mind, I just, as you said, I'm a very intuitive, I'm a very authentic coach, and I love to be seen actually as that. Thank you so much for seeing me like that, because that's really how I feel that's really me, and that's that's also the client that I attract. That my client is someone who is ready to talk very clearly, to go very fast, to have like instant transformations within the sessions. And then, of course, my favorite tool is the yoni egg for the women. I'm sorry, dear men. But if you support this tool for your women around you, this is so amazing for sexual healing, for sexual awakening, for more confidence. If you know someone who is using Botox and wants to get rid of Botox treatment, so it's also a natural facelift. And what I do is teaching my couples and women and men to go back to their natural states of feeling their bodies and hearts and minds, to reconnect with themselves, and learn how to enhance the self-healing properties, because we can heal ourselves. And that's what I believe, and that's what I teach, that people around me trust this this process of self-healing. So I always love to be my own medicine woman.
Yeah. You talked in the message, you said to me, orgasmic empowerment mindset. What does that mean? Talk me through what an orgasmic empowerment mindset really is.
Yeah, I actually just created that when we had that chat, and it's about to say yes to pleasure in our daily life. That's what it's actually about, and very consciously observe what actually turns us on in life. And it's not just what turns us on sexually, but what actually brings my senses pleasure. And that I say yes to that very consciously, and become a master of integrating that and identifying with me as a sexual and sensual being. Yeah. So that this is not a taboo. That's who you are as man and woman. You are a sensual and sexual being. That's where you were conceived. That's how you were conceived. That's where you come from. And that's where our life force energy comes from. And when we learn how to channel this sexual or orgasmic energy into our desires, into our dreams, into our day, into our relationships, into our body, then we can experience actually this sensual and sexual embodiment. But we can realize who we are. We can realize who we are. And this orgasmic self-empowerment is actually all about that. Yeah, it's not the mind. It's really reconnecting with the lower chakras and channel this orgasmic energy into what we visualize, and then create the energy field, the quantum field, to become magnetic, to attract what we really are. And I believe in that because I've experienced that within the last few years so much. And I have brought these $3 I brought back 10 years ago to a 6-figure international coaching business. And yeah, that's that's my story, and I'm very proud of that. And Liane, she's here. Heidi is here. Welcome, so good to see you. And yeah,
so
they
that can't
know.
have been easy.
Sorry.
That can't have been easy. There must have been challenges. There must have been failures. There must have been times where you wanted to give up. What kept you going?
Of course. My orgasms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I am very attuned to my own sexuality since young age. I had my first sexual encounter with a man at about 22. So before that, I was actually not interested in men, because I was so attuned with my own body and my own self-love and self-acceptance and the self-pleasuring. So that's something that not everyone experienced the same. Everyone experienced that on a different level. And yeah, this was always very natural for me, the self-pleasuring and the orgasms. And this is again, this is our life force energy that keeps us alive. And I believe if everyone would go more into self-love and self-pleasure and have more orgasms, we would have more world peace.
Solved it, right? Solved world peace. So you know, and I can see, you know, it's like you say, it's a taboo subject where if you're not comfortable with it, you can either, you know, run away from it. And for me, I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm curious and I want to ask more questions and I like to know about it. I like to learn about it. And you know, where do people start if people are curious? And where would you direct them to go to pursue some of the things that you're talking about?
What do you mean? Where would they go to?
So they want to embrace a bit of self-love, self-pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
self-acceptance. Where
Mm-hmm.
do they start?
I teach them first to breathe, how to breathe.
Yeah, simple.
Very simple. To reconnect with breath, that also keeps us alive.
Yeah.
So it's about conscious breathing, and then we go into sensual movement. Sensual movement is not about dancing and performing. It's closing your eyes and let one part of your body that is still connected with shame and guilt leading your body. Yeah, it's like for women, for example, they can take the breast, the womb, or the hips and put some happy music and just let the breast or the hips or the womb lead them and move them. That's all about sensual movement. And then from there,
What does that do?
that helps you to again get out of the body out of the head into the body, and really feel how these guilt and shame imprinted parts of the body can release that shame. Actually, shame and guilt can be released through the sensual movement. And then from there, it's saying yes to pleasure, what we discussed before. And yeah, it's actually very simple. And then go into the yoni egg practice. This is the tool that I mentioned before for the women to release sexual trauma from their yoni tissue. And yeah, go into this ecstatic, into the power of ecstatic pleasure that you then integrate in your daily life. Hi, Celeste.
Wow. How are some of the ways in which you can integrate it into daily life?
Sorry?
How are some of the ways which you can integrate it into daily life?
What do you mean by that?
So you talked about you embracing the pleasure. How will people show up differently?
I get messages from women and couples and men every day, and one of them can be like yesterday. I had a woman. She said, I just had my sexual awakening." I had just a guy. He just started plant-based nutrition and some meditation, and he said, I'm sleeping better, my digestion is better, and actually reconnecting with my sexuality, and my back pain is gone.
Wow.
And so, it's like every day I get these amazing messages, and I'm reconnected more with my breasts, the heartway, the gateway to my heart. People tell me I'm glowing from the inside out. I look younger every day. Other women, they say, I just sold a package of $5,000 for the first time in my life, because sex and money are so much connected. I'm just working with a group of women online for the next 7 weeks, where we go very deeply into this connection of how to have a sexier relationship with money, because these two energies, these two subjects are very, very much connected. So you can observe yourself. If you have regular or amazing orgasms, you channel your orgasmic energy into your, ideal client, into what, into your, I don't know, elite package, and it's going to happen. Yeah, it will manifest in your life. And yeah, that's also how I manifested my 6 figures.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what is my greatest fulfillment. These messages when I wake up in the morning. I usually do my office work still in bed, like lying in my warm bed, connected still with my body, because I want to communicate from the place of my heart and my yoni. And that's what makes me authentic and loving and caring and orgasmic and attractive.
Amazing.
Yeah, try it out. It's really amazing to do your office work from bed. It's you act from a different place, yeah? Because when you get up and you do your housework and then take a shower, go to your laptop, you're back into the head. If you're lying in bed, you wake up and you maybe do some self-pleasuring first, or just self-massage yourself, or do some deep breathing or some meditation, or listen to some, I don't know, meditations or hypnosis. And then you do the messages from your clients, you do your emails, you do your calls. It's really amazing. I inspire you to try that out.
There's a guy that's just logged on, actually. It's Jonathan Darling, and between Jonathan and I, we talk a lot about leading with love, about leading others from a position of love. And I'm really trying to understand the different, that orgasmic energy showing up in a way of, I don't know. Do you talk about orgasmic energy in a kind of in a sexual way, or is it just a way of being to other people? How would you describe it?
It's this energy that when you feel pleasure with your sense, it doesn't have to be sexual. So we can also go to the sensuality, which means with what we experience with our five senses, because we can experience orgasmic food, we can experience orgasmic sounds, we can have orgasmic taste. We already have. What do we see? Yeah, for example, when you have today in the mountains, the scenery was orgasmic. It is gives like a whole rush through the body when you go from the head into the body, and that's this energy that is orgasmic. And from that place, it's this orgasmic energy that you can channel even into your heart. Yeah, if you want to act from this place of the heart, from love, with love, you channel this energy from your lower chakras into the heart, and then from there you share with your clients, with your mentors, with your family, with your kids.
Yeah, I really like it. There's a level of curiosity because I sense some of these things. I see them and I hear them, and in the stuff that you talk about, I think, is it, because sometimes I can get hung up on the word orgasmic and I think, oh, that just means, but when you describe it in a sensual way, and it makes sense. And I think the more and more I speak to people like yourself and other people, this word awakening, the word awakening is becoming more and more relevant, because it's just a level of consciousness that I think we're trying to create in people to make choices. The body and the brain, they kind of know what it already wants, and I guess it's being able to be alive to that and listen to it, being in tune with it, and to make those conscious choices towards those natural desires, I imagine.
Yes, definitely. And it's there are some techniques. There is, for example, the microcosmic orbit. That's a special technique, breathing technique, and even men can do that, because also men have a pelvic floor. So when we exhale, the belly goes in and we lift the pelvic floor. Yeah, it's like in the Mula Bandha, Rene was there, also a big yogi. When we contract the pelvic floor muscles, we keep the energy inside the body. Yeah, like we women, we have 2 holes, like actually 3 holes down there, and men have 2. So through these holes, our life force energy can go away. And if we contract, if we build, if we know how to contract these pelvic floor muscles and work with Mula Bandha, it's called in the yogic term, or we contract and release these pelvic floor muscles, we can keep the energy inside the body. Yeah? Then we put the tongue behind the tongue, and then we breathe. It's like an inhale, you bring the energy up from the through the spine up to the crown, and then when you exhale, you bring the energy back through all the chakras back down to the pelvis. And through this contraction and release with the pelvic floor and this microcosmic orbit going up and down, this energy through the spine and the chakra, we can keep the energy within. Yeah, it's not going out. So through these different, it's very powerful. For the last 5 fitness trainings, I'm going just do some little fitness training and do some weights. And for like the last 5 sessions, I did this meditation with whenever I would pull, you know, like go into the, how you say that in English? When you actually go into the weight, yeah?
Yep.
You contract the pelvic muscle, so you keep the energy in. And it's so powerful because usually when we train, it's like, you know, when you go to a fitness center, like, you know, people go like that. And you can actually have an orgasm while you do that. And people have that, you know, it's like when they go in the fitness center, so they can have orgasms. So, but when you keep the energy in and you take this other breathing technique, it's a complete different energy when you walk out of the fitness. You're completely alert and you're completely alive. And it's very interesting what happens when you keep your energy within. Yeah.
Wow, that's really powerful.
Because we tend to give our energy out. That's what we have learned from our mothers and fathers, to perform, give, and do. And that's masculine energy. Surrender, receiving, and letting it flow is feminine energy. So that's what I love to teach my women. Do you actually know how to receive? And that's the biggest issue for all women. No, I love to give. Yeah, I love to give.
I think it links a little bit to this question that Jonathan said. He said, would you say you need to be careful to let the body and its sensations direct our path versus our hearts and souls? It seems like the body would be more focused on self-pleasure versus serving others. What's your view on that?
Yeah, interesting. Wait, I have to read it again. You need to be careful to let the body...
Good question, my friend.
Yeah, it seems like the body would be more focused on self-pleasure versus serving others. Exactly, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Huh? So that's what you're mentioning. That's what you have learned from your mother and your father, like from childhood. Yeah, that's a belief system that we have learned from childhood. Whenever you do, whenever you perform, whenever you give, that's when maybe some love, appreciation, and comfort will come your way. So that's what we do from childhood, and even today as adults, we make strategies all day long to receive love, appreciation, and comfort. So, and we have learned to do, give, and perform to receive that. Now is the time, my dear friends, to learn how to receive. And yes, keep the energy to yourself and become egoistic and become selfish. Even that is a taboo issue in our society, to be selfish and egoistic. Ego
what
means
do you think
me.
that gives? So once you've done that, what is that the whole kind of is it linked to the you can't pour from an empty cup, so you fill your own cup up first so that you can then be love to other people?
Definitely. Definitely. That's all the women with burnout, all the women with depression who came to me, all the women with breast cancer who come to me. That's what's all about. Yeah, I've given out of an empty battery. And we women are so amazing, and you men also, you can do that. But we women, we are really expert at that. To take out from an empty cup. We can still give from an empty cup, and that's crazy. We're crazy, because we shouldn't do that. Stop it. Stop it for good. First, we have to fill up with self-love, self-pleasure, and self-respect, and become selfish and egoistic so that we can then serve. Yeah, that's what you just said, Jonathan. And from there, then we can serve from the place of the heart, love, and from self-pleasure. If I'm connected to self-pleasure, if I love myself, and then I'm also very attractive. And I can serve from a full cup.
This has been absolutely fascinating. I really enjoyed having you with us. And I'm just conscious, my ethos and practice is called Always Better Than Yesterday. And I'm just curious to know, what does the phrase always better than yesterday mean to you?
I think it's what I mentioned before. It's about growth, and it's not about I allow myself growth. It's not about I have to allow myself something, because there is no prohibition. I am free. The soul is free, full of wisdom and full of love and eternal. And I don't even have to give myself the permission to grow, because I inspire you all. If you're in a relationship or somewhere in your life where you're not growing, please leave. Because also in nature, it's always about growth. And if you're not growing, you're dying. And I think that's what it means to me. It's I want to grow every day, and I don't have to give myself permission for that, because I'm free. I'm free to grow, always, anywhere, and in the way that I love.
Yeah, I love that. How can the watchers, listeners, viewers, how can they connect with you? How can they find more of your content? Where can they check you out?
I'm on Facebook. I have posts every day on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. AngelaRamel.com is my website. You can call me anytime. You can write to me. You can message me. You can even find my phone number on Instagram. So, and I would like to actually make an offer to everyone who is watching right now, because I'm hosting a luxury retreat for women in Ibiza from May 4th to 11th. And everyone who was live today, I would give still the early bird price, because the price already went up. So that's my offer to all the viewers from tonight.
That's amazing. That's very good of you. Can you put the link to that in the comments?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Sure.
That's amazing. That's ladies only, I imagine?
Yes. And I'm also the retreat is for ladies only. And I would love to do a couples retreat. Also this year, this is something that I visualized since a few months. But with the men, I also do personal coachings and couples too.
Amazing.
So yeah.
So definitely, people watching, please do push our faces right now and go and follow Angela's content. It's brilliant. It's authentic. It's inspiring, and I guarantee you will think and feel differently after consuming it, and hopefully after hearing her speak as well. Because I guess you've been living this for the last 30 years, you say. So this is just what you've shared with us this evening is just the tip of the iceberg of what you embody, I imagine. So unless there's any more questions going to come through, obviously we'll drop back and answer those that come through on the replay. But would you like to give the watchers, listeners, a final thought from yourself, Angela?
It's about to breathe, go out, breathe, and enjoy all the senses every day, and enjoy every day as if it would be the last one, because you never know. We don't know when this point of ending in this body is, and enjoy your senses and allow yourself to really also go out of your comfort zone every day. Push yourself out of a comfort zone in small things, because that's where you experience magic. And or it's a negative experience or it's a positive experience. We are in this dual world, and if it's positive, yeah. If it's negative, let it go. You know, grow further and go on. And yeah, grow,
I love
grow,
that.
grow, and breathe and love and enjoy yourself. It's about
Yeah.
enjoying yourself, because the more you go into self-pleasure and self-love, the more you attract all that, yeah, gratefulness and love and peace and sensuality and sexuality. And have some gourmet sex with your partners. It's 3 hours once a week.
Wow. Tell me more about that quickly.
It's as simple as that. Just spend 3 hours a week with your partner in bed. Have gourmet sex or on the table or wherever. But spend 3 hours with your partner once a week. It's the gourmet sex that I prescribe to every client. And observe the connection, yeah?
Angela, this has been absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for giving your time this Sunday evening. Really, really enjoy speaking with you. And I hope that we connect again in future. And who knows whether we cross paths and we work together in the future. I think it would be absolutely
Yes.
fascinating. I love what you're doing. And
Thank you so much.
yeah.
I need the man first. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need the man first, it's also going to self-pleasure first. Yeah. So that's how you attract the ideal partner.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I will also go through the comments, and if there are questions, I will connect with you all. And I'm up now and we'll go through the comments. And thank you
Wonderful.
so much. It was so much fun to
Amazing.
be here
Pleasure's
with
all
you
mine.
all.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time. Have a
you.
great
Thank
week.
you.
Guys and girls,
You too.
for checking it out. Please do just push the button, give it a good share. You know that there's someone in your timeline that needs to hear this. So have a great week, everybody. Much love.